Thanks for joining me again. Brian Curran here for another Saturday morning lesson. I hope you're enjoying these. I sure am having fun making them for you. And if this is the first one you've seen, welcome. I hope you find this lesson helpful. And as always, all my lessons are archived at facebook.com/Brian Curran Music. So you can review at your leisure and all kinds of subjects there to be had. So enjoy. And yeah, so today's lesson, we're going to get into what I just played. You might recognize it as the intro to Crossroad Blues by Robert Johnson. Very cool thing happened recently too. They found discovered a third photograph of Robert. Very cool. You might be familiar with the song. I'm sure if you're watching this, you're familiar with Robert Johnson and familiar with the song. As you know, it's one of his most iconic recordings. He did record two versions of it, so and they're quite different enough that you'll be able to hear, depending on where you're listening to the song, which version that we're doing. So I don't think you'll have any problem there figuring that out. So let's get into the tune. First, we'll talk about the tuning. I believe Robert is tuned to open A in this recording. I don't know for sure, but it would make sense. It's open A is basically open G, just up a whole step, but it would make sense for him to do that because it would create some more tension on the strings, increase the volume of the instrument, because we're back in I guess it would be 1936, 1937, something like that. So not much electric guitars going on back then, and you got to be heard over a loud crowd. So the louder you can make your instrument, the better off you are. I don't know for sure. Maybe some of you do. But the recording is around B flat. It's not tuned perfectly to 440. So if your guitar can handle it, tune to open A, and you'd capo around the first fret and then kind of try and by ear tune up to the recording. And especially on acoustic, be wary of cranking strings up to A. I'm going to teach in open G because visually I think it will be a little easier for you to see. So I'm not, as you can see, I have a 12 fret guitar here. To play in B flat, I would be way up the neck here, and I just don't think it'd be easy for you to see what I'm doing. So we're going to be in G, but again, if you want to get to the recording, to the pitch of the recording, either tune to A, capo around 1, mess with the strings, or stay in G, capo around 3, and mess with the strings. And there's other ways you can do that. You could capo on 2 and crank it up a little more, but you'll figure it out. But it's fine to do this in open G, especially if you're not playing with the recording. So it is a slide tune. So in case some of you are beginning, let's talk a little bit about the slide. I won't spend too much time on it. But as far as getting a slide goes, if you don't have one, boy, there's so many options. This is just the Jim Dunlop brass slide. I love these. They're like $8, but you can use pretty much anything that'll fit on your finger. They make ceramic ones, glass ones, stainless steel, brass. You could use a piece of copper pipe. You could use a socket wrench. The socket for a wrench, and anything that'll fit on your finger. And as far as what finger to wear it on, that's up to you. I'm a pinky guy, as you can see, but the ring finger's good, middle finger's good. It's really what comfort level you have that will make whatever works for you. So a couple little rules of thumb on slide. First, you don't play behind the fret like you do when you're using your fingers. You play directly above it. To get the correct pitch, or to be on pitch, play directly above the fret. So another thing is you don't have to press down like you do when you're using your fingers. Think of, if you've done this before, if you've done harmonics, think of that. That's about the pressure you use with the slide. I mean, there's just no, I'm not pressing down at all, because you want to slide up and down the strings, right? Another thing is try not to use too much slide when you're just playing, you know, up on the first string. Don't bar all these strings. It just creates excess noise. So, you know, just try and use the amount of slide you need to play the string that you're on. And then thumb position, I think is pretty important. I like to have it just kind of anchored in the back. It's just kind of straight up and down. You're not pressing on it. You know, there's no squeezing going on here. It's just kind of an anchor. It's kind of a pivot point. I just say try and avoid things wrapping over the top or, you know, something like that, or no thumb at all. I don't think is a very good idea, but, you know, you'll find what works for you. That's just some ideas to think about. So let's get into the tune itself, or the riffs. It's fairly simple to play, but there are some subtle things in here we'll talk about. But I thought this would be a good lesson because I think it's easy enough for a beginner on slide, and there's not like a lot of alternating bass going on here. And let's just face it, it's a great riff. So I thought you folks would enjoy this. So let's get into the tune and what's going on here. So the first riff is up on the 12th fret, and I'm barring about to the 3rd string here. You're real free here. You can see I'm using finger picks. That's up to you. You certainly don't need to do that. Bare fingers would be just fine. You're brushing up on that 12th fret. You're going to do 7 upstrokes with the index, middle. I usually wind up using, I think, the middle finger like that. You're just brushing up. You're going to do 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now I'm muting a little bit behind the slide with my fingers, just lightly touching those strings. It makes it a little cleaner, but if you want a dirtier sound, just release those. So here's those strokes with muting behind the slide and without. Totally up to you. You know, you get a little cleaner by muting, you get dirty without muting. So now the 8th stroke is going to be a target note on the 2nd string. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm still brushing. You know, you don't necessarily have to just isolate that 2nd string. And let me have a disclaimer here. I'm not claiming this is exactly what Robert Johnson is playing, but I think it's pretty close, and it certainly gets you started on the tune. So we have that brushing up 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you're kind of sliding into the 11th fret on the 2nd string. And then slide into 12 with another kind of brush up on the 1st string. So we got on the last half of that riff. 11 on 2nd, brush up on 12, slide into it though. You don't want to, you can hear in the recording it's subtle, but it's got a little whoop, rush into that 12th fret. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, let me change so you can kind of see my slide a little better here. Let's take a look at that again. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's the first part. Now, after that brush up on 12, the final note, you want to thump on that 5th string. Give it a good chunk. But don't let it ring. You want to cut it off right away. You can do that with the left hand, or you can do it with the palm of your right, or both. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See? Let's try one more time. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the very first phrase. Pretty simple. Now, here's the way I would suggest practicing this, is stop right there. You know, of course, you can go through this whole lesson to learn each part, but when you sit to practice it, boy, there's your first riff. And you just play the dickens out of that until it's just natural. Because it's a little tricky timing-wise to have that 7 and then you're moving back to the second string on 8. I have a tendency to want to do it 6, you know, but I'm pretty sure in the recording it's 7 on that, and then the eighth beat or the 8th stroke is back on that second string, and then down. So after that phrase, we go back to the second string on 11, slide in, and then we're going to end on 12 of the third string. Second string 11, third string 12. So now we got this. I'll still count for you so you can hear it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, one more time. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, one more time. I didn't slide in very good on that one. Let's try one more. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Next line is the third string, 3rd fret, and this is an iconic lick here you got going on. Very common in a lot of people's playing. Robert is, you know, certainly Muddy Waters. I mean, this lick is, you'll hear this a lot. 3rd string, 3rd fret, kind of slide into it to open to 5th fret on the 1st string. Now, he cuts that 3rd string short too. You don't want to let that ring. You can, I mean, but if I remember right in the recording, it gets cut like that thumb on down here. So now we got this much. Let me walk through it again for you. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, one more all the way through. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, after that 5th string, or 5th fret on the 1st string, we're going to do another thumb on the 5th string. This one you can let ring, because it's going to run right into the final turnaround, or the final riff. So let's go ahead and go to that point. And again, you can separate all of these little runs, all of these riffs, learn each little tiny section, and then move forward. So first part from the beginning, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more time. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now here's the final riff, final run. It's a common turnaround. Many variations of this, but a common turnaround in open G. Depending on what finger your slide is on, will depend on the fingers you use to fret these strings. I have the 6th fret, or the 6th string on the 3rd fret. I also have the 4th string on the 3rd fret. Oh, missed one more note. Prior to this, we're going to have a pickup note before you play this, and this is going to be the open 3rd string. So this form is going to move back from the 3rd fret to the 2nd fret to the 1st fret. Okay? So we left off on this. We have a pickup note of the open 3rd string, then your form. And I'm brushing up here with the 3rd string as my target note in the triplet. I play that open pickup note. The first note of that triplet feel is what we call a pinch. I'm going to play the 6th string and target that 3rd string, but I can brush through it, or you can just leave it that one single string. But you're going to play those two together and then finish your triplet. So it's like a pinch, triple, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You can see my thumb and that playing at the same time. 1, 2, 3. Okay? You drop that form back a half step to the 2nd fret and do the same thing. Those strings together, another triplet form. 1, 2, 3. Then the final one is more of a shuffle. So you don't do a triplet, it's still the first pinch. A little hesitation. Then you pinch again, all of them together. So if I start that from that pickup note, then that final riff, he slides up on the 5th string with his finger. You could use the slide if you want, to the 7th fret. Then it's the open 4th string, open 6th string. Muddy Waters used that turnaround on some stuff. Can't Be Satisfied. He did that same turnaround. Same kind of idea. You know. But anyhow, I'm getting carried away. I always do that. My mind starts racing on other stuff. But anyway, let's just isolate that lick again. So from the previous first part, we ended on that. So we're isolating this one turnaround lick. Pickup note on 3rd string. Chord form down. We start a triplet by pinching the thumb and the index together. 3rd string is the target note. Triplet. Down half step. Triplet. Kind of a shuffle feel here. Then open. Slide that finger up. So that's the main intro. That's the first section. He starts singing after that. So let's go through the whole thing. We'll go real slow, and I'll still count that first part for you so you can start to get the feel for that. So 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more time. 3, 4. Pretty simple stuff, but remember a couple of those subtle things. Again, that first open 5th string, you want to cut that off. The open 3rd string here, I'm pretty sure on the recording that gets cut, but it's not essential. You know, really, the idea here is to, you know, I don't think you want to try and copy exactly what Robert's doing. Maybe you do, and if you do, I think this is a good start. I'm not claiming that this is an exact copy of the intro, you know. But again, I think it's pretty close, and it gets you gets you in the right direction. Because Robert used these areas of the neck a lot. Used these, you know. So did Muddy Waters. You know, I mean, a lot of these phrases, you know, in this turnaround, you know, a lot of variations, or a lot of tunes use different variations of these things. So I think it's good to get going on it, and I hope you enjoy it. So one more time, and then we'll let you go, and you can do some practicing today. So one more time on the whole lick. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you find it helpful to get you started on some slide guitar, or started on Crossroads, or anyhow. Again, my name is Brian Curran, and don't forget, all these lessons archived at facebook.com/Brian Curran Music. Try and do these every Saturday morning, so you can go to the page, give me a follow or a like, and hopefully you'll get notifications when these come out. But I try and share them out as much as I can, and also I do give online lessons via Zoom and Skype and Facebook chat and whatnot. So if you ever have a question, just let me know. Comment with your questions, suggestions, or all my contact info is on the Facebook page too. So feel free to shoot me an email with any questions or comments. So we'll see you next Saturday. Take care, everybody. God bless you. Stay safe and healthy.